Alright, we're live right now.
All right, all right. Welcome to the first Pro League stream where we're gonna announce the brackets. My name is DTZ Waves, and I'm joined by Ferox.
To do right now is we'll draw the brackets from the European parts of this tournament. Like, are you excited about it? I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, I'm definitely very excited as well. We can see all of these teams which have been confirmed to play. They're all very talented with a lot of experienced players in all of the teams. So I'm definitely very excited to see how these brackets are gonna turn out.
Few teams I would just like to see play against each other. Like I've seen opposition just shred so far. Then like one of the more like newcomers. Like they've had teams that were really good in the past as well. But like this roster is relatively new compared to like the other rosters. Like Carnage has just been around for like ages so far, and like Reapers and Raise 9, these guys have always just been together. So opposition mostly will do in this tournament. Like is there another team you are just excited about?
And the format's very interesting. There's the league starts with 8 teams that are divided in 2 groups of 4 teams. Each of like the losing team of these 4 matches moves to the losers or the lower bracket. And the winner that qualifies for that moves over to the next bracket. And so if you lose your first like introducing match, if you could say so, that doesn't mean you're completely out of the tournament. That just means that you still have a chance to move forward and like get further into these matches and maybe even get to the final as well.
It's nice. Like that one bad match doesn't decide like if you're completely out of the tournament. Everyone just gets a second chance.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I really enjoy about Pro League. That it's a special format that really works pretty well, and I think it's a very fair format as well. Like if you just lose a match, it doesn't mean that you're completely out. You still have a chance to win that big prize pool. That we're also gonna talk about a bit later on. So definitely great. Sure.
Go to let's have a look like who's up against each other. I'm wondering how its brackets will look and if it's resulting into interesting matchups. So, but okay, so the ik weet echt niet hoe dit werkt nu. So the first group consists out of Raise 9, Carnage, Opposition, and Reapers, while the second group consists out of Vexation, Cage, KRH, Nexus, and Bloody Dragons. Let's go on to the next part from Group A and Group B. Let's see how the matches will go. Okay, so by looks of it, Raise 9 is going up against Reapers, Carnage is going up against Opposition, Vexation is going up against Bloody Dragons, Karahab Heroes is going up against Nexus. So interesting matches already, like especially Carnage versus Opposition. I feel like these are the two teams to watch right now. Like, what do you think about it?
I definitely agree. I mean, I'm definitely very excited for Carnage against Opposition. We have seen these teams battle it out many times, and I definitely think there's a lot of potential in both teams. I'm also very, very excited for Raise 9 versus Reapers. I mean, both teams have so much to offer. Both teams have been playing for so long together, and I definitely think that there's a lot of experience and a lot of teamwork. So I definitely think that's going to be a very, very interesting match. So yeah, what do you think about that?
I feel mostly is that like Group A is like, no offense to the players on Group B, but I feel like Group A is a lot more stacked than Group B. Like the top two teams in EU right now are just immediately going up against each other. That like, and then Raise 9 and Reapers, like these two just have huge amount of chemistry. Like they understand each other on another level. But like, not to forget like Group B, like Bloody Dragons. I'm still pretty excited for these players. I've played against them before. They're great opponents to play against, and like not to be messed with. I feel like these guys can be coming out of like, they might be able to like pull something great off and just go to the finals. I feel like that might be amazing.
Definitely, I definitely agree with what you're saying, and it's also very interesting to see. All of these teams have been playing for such a long time, and it just see you can just see how much that pays off in the long game. I definitely agree with you that Group A is a bit more packed in terms of experience. I mean, I haven't there's no offense to any other Group B teams, but for example, Nexus, I haven't heard a lot from them um, before a few months ago. So I definitely think that Group A is going to be a lot more packed. But I definitely think in general it's going to be very, very interesting to see all of these games. And yeah,
But the fun thing about Nexus though is like, I haven't heard of them before like the first phase of Pro League started, and then eventually just they came out as this powerhouse, just like shredded through everyone and just made it to the second phase. So I'm pretty excited to see what they got going. I just don't know how far they will make it, because actually I haven't heard that much from them in the past few months. So wondering what's going on there.
definitely agree. And yeah, I definitely see that uh like although that they are maybe a bit new, like a newly heard team, they definitely made it into pro league. So that if you just look at that, that's a lot of talent that has to go into a team for them to make it to a tournament with a prize pool of 250,000 gold.
Definitely,
So I definitely think, yeah, go ahead.
they definitely just deserve their spot, because otherwise they wouldn't have just won against all these great teams before. So like,
I definitely,
is there another team you like to like talk about?
I think, I think Raise 9 actually, because I thought that not too long ago I was pretty sure that they disbanded and now they're just coming back. I definitely see that they have a lot to offer, so that they're still able to come back off the disbanding. That just shows you that some of those players have a lot of heart to work with, and and I think they're gonna do really well just because that they have that extra experience. I definitely think that just because they have had that phase of disband, I still think that we shouldn't count Raise 9 out at all because they have shown so much across a few years now. So I definitely think that they could pull off like a lot of good plays.
What I like about Race 9 personally is like the loyalty of these players, because like a few months back, like back in the end of 2020, I've been in Race 9, And since I left, the roster hasn't really changed that much. It's always been like Rebel, Kasapi, and Vale, Body. So like these players just understand each other way better than any other team in Europe at this point, right? I think. So that might be their secret weapon to like winning most of their matches. So I'm pretty stoked to see how that will just turn out.
Yeah, definitely. And also, now that you talked about the same roster that they've had for quite a while, you kind of reminded me of the roster that Vextation has. Back when they used to be called OFB, I used to play there, and like since then, not a lot of changes have been made to this roster. I mean, it's most of those key players, Apple, Frost, and some of these players they're still playing on this team since I left a few months back. So I definitely think that they're packing on a lot of experience. Uh, so yeah, I definitely think that they can show off a lot during this tournament.
Like just to remind everyone again, this is already the second phase of Pro League, and like you see, it's consisting out of 8 teams from Europe. Like already a few regions have had the second phase. Like Asia just ended with King 7 being the winners. Uh, this this phase just has an immense prize pool of 50,000 in-game gold, and the top 3 players, not players, I mean the top 3 teams will go into the third phase, which will have a prize pool of 250,000 gold. An amazing amount of gold. Imagine if you win that, what you can buy with that. But professional league will have like double elimination bracket, which means like if a team loses their first match in this tournament, they won't be out immediately. They will always have a second chance. So I'm pretty excited for this tournament and can't wait for it to start.
Also, now that we talked about just the matches overall, it's also going to be very interesting to see that all of these matches are going to be best of threes. When we normally talk about that, like in my opinion, I personally think that best of threes are the most fair type of games because there's no best of two where it's only combined of how many rounds you can get in total, and it's not like a best of one where it's just one game. If you don't have a good game, you're just completely out and maybe going to the losers bracket. So I definitely agree with this being a good type of format, like a best of three type format. And I'm also very excited to see the final. That's gonna be so amazing to see. I really hope that we're gonna end out with 5 whole maps. Like that would be so insane to see. And I definitely think that we could get there.
Who do you think will just be in the total finals of this tournament? Who do you like? What's your what do you think?
Prediction. My personal predictions. It's a very hard, like answer, like question, and I'm not exactly sure with the answer. I don't want to count any of these teams out at all, but I personally think that it would be quite possible that either opposition or Carnage win. I personally think one of those teams, but I'm not exactly sure. What about you, Ferox? What do you think?
Might be a little bit biased for this, but I just want Carnage to be in the finals. But I also feel like opposition has a great shot. I've played against them before. They're really tough opponents, so I'm totally not counting these guys out. But the way I think the finals of this tournament will look is probably or Carnage or opposition. I think against Bloody Dragons. I feel like from Group B, Bloody Dragons has the most to offer. Uh, but like Carnage versus opposition will always be like a really tough game. I think personally in Group A, we will see like Carnage versus opposition more than once. I feel like the loser of this first match will just like fight through until they are up against them again. I feel like that's going to be a hell of a match.
Definitely. I mean, if you go into that lower bracket, you really have to win every single game. I mean, there's no chance for you to lose anything in the lower bracket. If you just lose a best of three series, you're literally out. No chance of winning any gold. So I definitely think that you really gotta be really experienced and have a lot of knowledge in terms of your maps to be able to go really far, even if you go to the lower brackets. So I definitely think that like most of these teams could pull that off. If we go ahead and talk about the group B, I personally predict that I personally think that teams like Vegetation and Bloody Dragons. I know both of these teams. I've watched these players and watched these teams play in, for example, Hexagon League, and these teams really showed a lot of like impactful plays. I mean, they had those nice holes. I mean, they really showed a lot of creativity in terms of their play styles and their overall team chemistry. So in terms of Group B, I don't want to be like type of like kind of counting all these other teams out, but I definitely think that Vegetation and Bloody Dragons could have a really high chance of making it forward into the final.
To be honest, I wouldn't count Karahap Heroes out. Like right now, their energy, like they might not have pulled off the most amazing results, but they're still kind of consistent. They've showed up in Hexagon League before, and I feel like their roster has like changed quite a bit for the better. So I wouldn't count these guys out either.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I feel like this is like basically everything I wanted to mention about all these great teams playing in this amazing tournament, and I can't wait for the first match to be played.
Me neither, man. I couldn't agree with you more about that statement. Like, I definitely think that these teams have so much power to offer and so many great games to show off. And yeah, I definitely think that these teams are gonna go far, all of them. And hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong with these predictions because honestly, that would just be awesome to see new energy, new plays. Like it would be nice to see some original plays and original teams play, but I really hope for change as well in terms of teams and plays, and I definitely hope to be surprised, and I also hope to be wrong in some kind, if you could say so.
Anyway, we'll be here once all the games will start, and I hope you will be there as well. And this was Ferox with Waves, and I'm hoping we'll see you again sometime watching the first.